Welcome back to Evolving Manhood. Today, we're taking lessons from one of the most unlikely success stories in sports history, Tom Brady. Before the championships, before the MVP trophies, before becoming the most decorated quarterback the game has ever seen, Tom Brady was a sixth-round draft pick. He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the most highly recruited. In fact, many experts believed he wasn't good enough. Yet somehow, the man chosen 199th became the standard everyone else would be measured against. This episode isn't about football, it's about manhood. Because every man will eventually face moments when the world underestimates him. The question is, what do you do next?
Yeah.
Right. 199, sixth round. How are you feeling as that's progressing that day?
Yeah. So I end up having, I would say, a very good college career. I finished my career as a starter, 20 wins and 5 losses at Michigan. I won 2 bowl games.
Awesome.
I thought I improved a lot over the course of my college career, and I dealt with a lot of adversity in college. And again, I go back to my early childhood, and I had a great work ethic, very competitive, had a great foundation to deal with success and failure because of my parents, total unconditional love and support from the people that mattered most in my life. Then I go to college a long way from home, and I grew up in California, and I go to the Midwest, freezing cold, long way from home. This is before cell phones.
Yeah.
I can't just, call my parents up with things. So I had to grow up. So I go through my college career, I have a good career, and now I'm like trying to go to this pro level. And again, what was another blessing I had? Like I said, I was very naive. I thought, like I did in college, well, yeah, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to play. And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm going to go play pro football. Of course I'm going to play pro football. Like, why would I not? Didn't everybody see how good I did at Michigan?
Yeah.
And the pro scouts didn't exactly see it the same way. The pro scouts were like, this kid's skinny, doesn't have a great arm, doesn't move very well in the pocket, goes down easily. And in fact, I had a challenging 5th year in college where I kind of platooned at quarterback with a younger player. So a lot of the pro scouts thought, well, if Michigan doesn't want to play Tom, well, why would we want him?
Yeah.
Michigan wants to play another player, Drew Henson, and I played a lot my senior, but they see him every day in practice. He must not be that good. So I thought, man, I'd overcome a lot, played well. I should go like a 2nd or 3rd round pick. And the pro scouts, again, just didn't see it that way. So I go to the draft, and it was, again, very different time than today's day and age of the draft, which is, all the media attention, all the hype. It was just kind of a little bit under the radar. It happened on a Saturday, Sunday. The first 3 rounds were on a Saturday. The second rounds 4 through 7 were on Sunday. So on Saturday, I go to a San Francisco Giants baseball game to take my mind off the draft because I kind of didn't think I'd be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I thought maybe 3rd, but I'll probably go on the 2nd day. So I go to a Giants baseball game, and to take my mind off it, of course, I don't get picked. So I go home on that Sunday, and I'm like, all right, this is my day, 4th round. Who's going to pick me? 4th round comes and goes. Then the 5th round comes and goes. 6th round is getting to the very end, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere. Maybe maybe I'm going to have to not play football anymore. Maybe I have to go sell insurance like my dad. That was his job. And fortunately, the Patriots picked me, 199th pick overall. And
When nobody sees what you see. Tom Brady entered the NFL draft believing he had proven himself. He had won games at Michigan. He had overcome adversity. He had developed into a capable leader. But the scouts didn't see what he saw. They saw flaws. They saw limitations. They saw reasons to pass. Round after round went by. 4th round, 5th round, then late in the 6th round. Imagine sitting there watching opportunity after opportunity disappear. Imagine questioning everything you've worked for. Many men know that feeling. You applied for the promotion. Someone else got it. You pursued the relationship. She chose someone else. You launched the business. Nobody noticed. You showed up prepared. The opportunity never came.
The lesson from Brady's story isn't that rejection won't happen. The lesson is that rejection doesn't get the final vote. A mature man learns that other people's opinions are information, not destiny. Your value doesn't rise and fall based on someone else's evaluation. Sometimes the world can't see what you're becoming because you're still in the process of becoming it.
Of course, when I wanted to go to college, like, yeah, I'm going to go play college football. Of course, I'm going to play Michigan. Yeah, I'll go take on the other guys. Then at the end of my college career, well, of course, I'm going to go play pro football. So like that naive confidence I had in myself obviously continued. So now Drew gets injured in week 2, the Sunday after 9/11, 2 Sundays after 9/11, and we're playing the Jets. Drew gets injured. And when I ran on the field, I thought, if I ever get my chance, they're never going to take me off the field. And of course, we're going to do well because that's what I knew how to do. I had worked really hard to put myself in a position to succeed. I got my opportunity and I wanted to do a great job with it. And the moment wasn't too big for me. I played at Michigan. There was 110,000 fans. In Foxborough Stadium, there was only 65,000. It was a small venue compared to what I was used to in college.
Yeah.
So I end up playing for,
Opportunity favors prepared men. When Brady finally got drafted, he didn't arrive in New England expecting special treatment. He arrived ready to work. He wasn't the starter. He wasn't the star. He wasn't promised anything. Then opportunity appeared. Drew Bledsoe got injured. Suddenly, Brady was on the field. And in that moment, everything changed. Notice something important. The opportunity wasn't what made Brady successful. His preparation did. Many men pray for opportunities they aren't prepared to handle. They want influence without discipline, leadership without responsibility, success without sacrifice. The truth is simple. Opportunity reveals preparation. When your moment comes, your habits will speak louder than your dreams. The man who prepares while nobody is watching is the man who's ready when everybody is watching.
I think the competition is me versus me. It's myself today versus the version of myself yesterday and the improvement that I can make on a daily basis, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, to live the life that I want to live. And every day there's different priorities. It's funny. Sometimes I work out in the morning. I talk to my therapist after that. And then I go work on my career stuff after that. So in some ways, I work on my physical, I work on my emotional, and then I go work on my mental. And that well-rounded part of me allows me to live the life that I want.
Great men compete with themselves. One of the most powerful statements Brady made was this: the competition is me versus me. That's maturity. Immature men spend their lives comparing themselves to others. Who has more money? Who has the better job? Who has the nicer house? Who gets more attention? But comparison is a race with no finish line. There will always be someone ahead of you in something. The evolved man asks a different question. Am I better than I was yesterday? That is the only competition that never becomes meaningless. Every day becomes an opportunity to improve. A little stronger physically, a little wiser mentally, a little healthier emotionally, a little closer to purpose spiritually. The greatest opponent most men will ever face isn't another man. It's yesterday's version of themselves.
Coach Belichick comes into the locker room after the game, and he wants to give out game balls. And he gives out 2 game balls, and he says, 1 game ball is for you, Otis Smith, not for your interception return for a touchdown, but for your block that you made on Ty Law's interception return for a touchdown. And he said, the other game ball is for you, Ty, not for your interception return for a touchdown, for the block that you gave to get Otis Smith into the end zone on his interception return for a touchdown. And if you think about that, that is the ultimate team sport. Football, the glory doesn't go to the person who makes the play. It goes to all the guys who contributed to a teammate making a play. That's what I loved about the sport. Yeah. I'd throw a touchdown pass, And yeah, it was great. Everyone wants to talk about, oh, Brady throws it to Gronkowski. Brady throws it to Troy Brown for a touchdown. I wanted to celebrate with the offensive linemen. I wanted to celebrate with the guys who are blocking for me up front. It's just, that's the sport. And the more we can get back to that, the better the sport's going to be. It's always about us. It's always about we. It's not about me. And life, whether it's a successful business, family, sports team, it's always about us. What can I contribute? They're energy givers and they're energy takers. The more people that can give energy, and you wake up every day going, how can I serve you as my teammate? How can I serve you as my partner? How can I serve you as my parent? Like, that is the best way to go about life, is how do you serve other people and how can you give back? And that's what the foundation of our team was built on at the Patriots over a very long career. We won the Super Bowl that first year, and because of the values created by the team and the culture we built, that continued on through the early part of my Patriot career. And then those values really began to just become so rooted in everything we did. It was
The power of team-first living. One of Brady's favorite memories wasn't a touchdown, it wasn't a championship, it wasn't an MVP award. It was watching teammates get recognized for blocks that helped someone else score. Think about that. The spotlight went to the men who made the success possible. That's leadership. The world teaches men to chase recognition. Real manhood teaches men to create results. A father doesn't need applause to protect his family. A husband doesn't need praise to love his wife. A mentor doesn't need attention to change a life. Strong men understand a principle many never learn. The goal isn't to be the hero of the story. The goal is to help the team win. Whether that team is your family, your workplace, your community, or your circle of friends. The question becomes, what can I contribute? Not, what can I get?
You give to people about discerning leadership and being coached and led by people.
So I think trust is built up through shared experience and communication, and I would say pure intentions. And people can manipulate people through life and tell people what they want to hear in order to get something that they want, which is not my style of communication. Yeah. I believe that leaders should always do two things that are critical to success and critical to leadership. You should care about the people that you work with, and you should care about the mission that you're trying to accomplish. If your individual personal agenda supersedes either of those two, you're never going to be defined as a great leader. When I see people on TV talking about I and me as it relates to teams or corporations, I think, yeah, that's not going to work. Because great leaders always give the credit to the others. And great leaders also take the blame when things don't go right. And that's how you endear yourself to a group of people.
How to recognize real leadership. Brady shared a powerful insight about leadership. He said great leaders do two things. One, they care about people, not because it's useful, not because it benefits them, because people matter. Two, they care about the mission. The purpose is bigger than their ego. When a leader's personal agenda becomes more important than people or purpose, problems begin. A mature man learns to watch actions more than words. Real leaders give credit away, accept responsibility, serve before being served, build trust through consistency, make others stronger. The best leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders.
In fact, you should always point the finger back at yourself. You should always think about any critical evaluation about something that doesn't go right should always start with yourself. What can I do better? What could I have done more of to support the cause? What could I have done? What did I learn from this experience? And then you try not to repeat it. And we're always going to make mistakes. Life is about making mistakes and learning from them. In fact, if you push the limits and you try to do things that are very challenging, you're going to fail. And the reality is within yourself, when you do fail, what kind of resilience do you have within you? What have you built up within yourself to try to solve that problem through failure, that if you do solve it, you can gain a tremendous amount of self-confidence and self-esteem because you realize that you are the solution, that you're not a victim, that you're someone that if you work hard, if you are humble, if you have self-awareness, if you have a growth mindset, and you have a relentless work ethic to figure these things out, you will overcome it. You aren't a victim of your circumstance. You are the solution to your life. It's your choice. It's your day. What do you want to make of it? Yeah, you can choose whatever you want. Every day we got opportunities to choose. And it's up to you. It's your life. Whatever you want to choose, you can do. You can go for it.
Well, thank
You are not the victim. Perhaps the strongest lesson from the interview came when Brady said, "You are the solution to your life." That's a message many men need to hear. Life will not always be fair. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will pass you by. Mistakes will happen to every man eventually. But responsibility is where power begins. Victimhood asks, "Why did this happen to me?" Growth asks, "What am I going to do about it?" Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means your future is still your responsibility. And that's where hope lives. Because if you're the solution, then you're not powerless.
I think the competition is me versus me. It's myself today versus the version of myself yesterday, and the improvement that I can make on a daily basis, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, to live the life that I want to live. And every day there's different priorities. You know, it's funny, sometimes I work out in the morning, I talk to my therapist after that, and then I go work on my career stuff after that. So in some ways, I work on my physical, I work on my emotional, and then I go work on my mental. And that well-rounded part of me allows me to live the life that I want to live and continue to push myself. And I think, you know, many years from now, I hope that I've surrounded myself with people that push me to hold myself to a high standard, and I push them to hold themselves to a high standard too. That, again, when you have the fortunate things that have happened in my life, I realize how blessed I am. And then I think, how can I continue to be a good example for, you know, myself and others? And I have kids that are the light of my life. They motivate me and inspire me every day to be the best dad that I can be.
The complete man. Near the end of the interview, Brady described his daily routine. He works on his physical health, his emotional health, his mental growth. That should sound familiar, because that's exactly what evolving manhood is about. Many men develop one area while neglecting the others. Some build muscles but ignore emotions. Some build careers but lose relationships. Some chase success but forget their health. The evolved man understands balance. Strength isn't one-dimensional. A strong man develops the whole person: body, mind, heart, character, purpose.
That I've committed myself to. And I want to be the best I can be for them. And whatever I say I'm going to do, I want to follow through and do.
Awesome. Well, it has been an honor and a privilege to be with what I will call the greatest leader and winner in sports history. And I know there's complex ways to measure that. And somebody that was the bane of my existence as a Jet fan to sitting here, massive gratitude. Wish you all the best, of course, with the card vault.
Thank you.
The 6th round challenge. This week, I want you to practice 5 habits from the 6th round mindset. Step 1. Write down one rejection that still bothers you. Then write one lesson that rejection taught you. Step 2. Identify one opportunity you're preparing for. What skill can you improve today? Step 3. Stop comparing yourself for 7 days. Measure progress only against your previous self. Step 4. Serve someone without expecting recognition. Help them win. Stay anonymous if possible. Step 5. Ask yourself every morning, what kind of man do I want to be today? Then act accordingly. Tom Brady's story isn't really about football. It's about a man who refused to let outside opinions determine his future. A man who prepared before opportunity arrived. A man who learned that leadership is service. A man who understood that greatness begins when ego ends. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson of all. You don't need to be the most talented man in the room. You don't need the best circumstances. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You simply need the courage to keep becoming the man you're capable of being. Because the greatest competition isn't against another man. It's against the man you were yesterday. And every morning, you get another chance to win. The world may overlook your potential, but it cannot stop your preparation. Keep growing, keep serving, and keep becoming. The best version of you is still under construction. This is Evolving Manhood. Until next time, keep doing the work that transforms boys into men and men into leaders. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.